Alright, it's finally time. Throughout all of the Every Mob videos I've done, this one has been the most requested by far. Despite being relatively new mobs, piglins are such an interesting concept, and I love how Mojang keeps expanding on their lore. There are so many fun designs and ideas. So today we're looking at every piglin in the Minecraft franchise. If you enjoy this video, like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Let's start with the original. Piglins spawn in nether wastes, crimson forests, and in bastions. They always spawn holding a weapon, with a 50% chance of it being either a gold sword or a crossbow. Baby variants also spawn, but without weapons. They have a 10% chance to spawn with each different type of armor. They are naturally aggressive towards wither skeletons and withers and players unless they're wearing a piece of gold armor. Their detection radius will be halved if you're wearing a piglin head. They have different levels of aggravation depending on what you do. Light aggravation occurs when you don't wear gold armor, and can be stopped by putting on gold armor or throwing the piglin a gold item. Medium aggravation happens when you try to open a chest with gold or hit another piglin in the vicinity of a piglin. They can still be distracted by gold. High aggravation only happens to the piglin you attack. It will not stop attacking for anything. Occasionally, piglins will attack a nearby hoglin. All other nearby piglins will join in on the hunt. If they successfully kill the hoglin, all of the piglins that participated will begin dancing. When you give a piglin gold, after a few seconds, they will give you a random item from their loot pool. Some items have better chances of being given than others. They will also pick up any other gold item, but they won't give you anything for them. If they find any equipment on the ground, they will pick it up and equip it, as long as it's better than what they're currently using. Baby piglins are passive and are also friendly with baby hoglins. They can ride them, and up to 3 baby piglins can ride on top of each other. They can still pick up gold, but they won't give you anything. Piglins will run away from zombified piglins and all of the soulfire related items. As many of you pointed out in my villager video, piglins can open doors. If they leave the nether, they will zombify after 15 seconds. When killed, they have a chance to drop any armor or tools they spawned with. If they picked anything up that isn't a gold ingot, they will drop that too. If they are killed by a charged creeper, a piglin head will drop. Piglin brutes spawn exclusively in bastions. They always spawn with a gold axe. Unlike normal piglins, they're always hostile and can't be distracted by gold. They will always attack withers and wither skeletons and any mob that attacks a piglin nearby. Their detection radius is also cut in half if you wear a piglin head. They're not afraid of zombie piglins and soulfire, unlike the normal piglin. They will also zombify in the overworld. They have a small chance to drop a gold axe when killed. Zombified piglins spawn in crimson forests, nether wastes, nether fortresses, randomly around active nether portals in the overworld when a pig is struck by lightning and when piglins enter the overworld. They spawn with gold swords, but if a piglin brute or piglin with a crossbow is zombified, they will hold an axe or crossbow. They can't use the crossbow though, they will just do a melee attack. Some zombie piglins can spawn as strider jockeys and will hold warped fungus on a stick. They are neutral and they won't attack until you attack them. But if you attack one, every zombie piglin in the area becomes mad at you and attacks. Some of them can spawn as leaders on Java Edition, which spawn more zombie piglins as you attack them. Unlike normal piglins, they're immune to fire. It's an undead mob, so all of the undead things apply to it, like healing from harming potions, being affected by smite, etc. Before the Nether update, these mobs were called zombie pigmen and had a different model. But when piglins were added, they were changed to fit in with the new mob. They behave exactly the same as they used to, the only thing that changed was their appearance. They drop rotten flesh, gold ingots and nuggets, and have a chance to drop the item they were holding. Hoglins aren't technically piglins, but they're heavily related, so I'll count them for the video. Hoglins spawn in groups in crimson forests, and in certain areas of some bastions. They have a baby variant that occasionally spawns. They are hostile towards the player and will knock you into the air when they hit you on Java Edition. If you attack a hoglin, all of the others in the area will begin to attack you. Baby hoglins are also hostile, but they do a lot less damage and have normal knockback abilities. Hoglins take 60% less knockback than most mobs. If they see a warped fungus, nether portal, or respawn anchor, they will run away. You can breed hoglins with crimson fungus, making them the only breedable hostile mob. You can also leash them with a lead. If they ever leave the nether, they will zombify after 15 seconds and turn into zoglins. They drop leather, raw pork chop, or cooked pork chop if they died while on fire. Zoglins can only spawn when a hoglin zombifies. They're hostile to literally everything, besides creepers, ghasts, and other zoglins. They never retreat for any reason. Their attack is the same as the normal hoglin. Baby zoglins will never grow up since they're dead, I guess. They are classified as undead, so they have all those properties. When killed, they drop rotten flesh. Finally, the predecessor to the Piglin, the Pigman, had its texture in the game from the alpha build all the way to 1.6. If it was fully added, it would have apparently been a bodyguard that you could hire. The idea was being worked on, but it was scrapped at some point. Alright, once again there were no Piglins in Minecraft Earth, so let's move on to dungeons. Piglins in Minecraft dungeons spawn in all of the nether levels. They will run up to the player and attack them with their sword. Like a lot of dungeons mobs, they have stronger variants that do more damage and have more health. The first one turns into a Piglin brute, and the second wears a gold helmet and uses a firebrand axe. Zombie Piglins are also in the game. They act the same as normal Piglins, but have slightly more health and damage and count as undead. Their stronger variants also look the same and do the same things. Piglin hunters also spawn in all of the nether levels. They attack by shooting piercing arrows extremely fast. Its first stronger variant wears a netherite helmet, and its second wears a gold one. That doesn't make any sense to me, it feels like it should be flipped. It also has a zombified version which acts exactly the same, just with more health and damage. Fungus throwers are a unique variant of the Piglin. They spawn in the warped and crimson forest levels. They throw 2 explosive mushrooms at the player that leave behind clouds of poison. If the player gets close, they will try to run away. They also have a zombie version which does more damage. Hoglins spawn in most of the nether levels. They will charge at the player and throw them into the air. If they are already close to the player, they will just hit them with their tusks. It has an ancient boss called Unstoppable Tusk. It's enchanted with Quick, Poison Cloud, Fire Trail, and Rampaging. 20 Piglin hunters with Fuse Shot also spawn. It will drop a gilded broken saw blade, sprout armor, or cog crossbow. Finally, the Piglin merchant is one of the merchants you can find in the camp. It will sell you gilded items for gold. You can find it in the Ancient Hunt Cave. You can unlock more slots for it by completing ancient hunts. For some reason, it doesn't zombify in the overworld. In Minecraft Legends, Piglins are the main villains, so there's a lot of them. The Blaze Runt is the basic ranged enemy from the game. It has 3 different variants, one for each horde. They spawn in Piglin raids and bases randomly at night and from portals, Piglin launchers, and Piglin pits. They throw blaze rods at enemies and towers. They take more damage from the player, but less from slam and poison attacks. Like every enemy in the game, they drop lapis and very rarely Piglin keys. The Mace Runt is the basic melee enemy. It has a variant for each of the hordes, just like the Blaze Runt. They spawn in all of the same places, too. They will run up to enemies and attack them with their mace. They take less damage from poison and slam attacks. The Spore Medic spawns in Piglin bases, invasions, randomly at night, and from Piglin pits and launchers. They also have 3 variants. They heal other Piglin allies with spores and attack enemies with those same spores. Piglin builders spawn in all of the typical places. They also have 3 variants. They have the ability to build Piglin pits and blaze rod towers. When they have already built something, they will attack you by shooting mortars. They take more damage from explosions, but less from dart, smash, poison, and player attacks. Clingers spawn in high-tier bases and raids. They have 3 variants. They slam their symbols together, causing mobs caught in the radius to be stunned. They take more damage from the player, crush, and range attacks, but take less from explosion, chop, slam, sniper, melee, and dart. Seekers can spawn randomly in the world in Horde of the Hunt raids and Horde of the Hunt and Spore bases. They only have 2 variants, one for the Horde of the Hunt and one for the Horde of the Spore. When they see enemies, they run towards them as fast as possible and explode. If you hit it before exploding, you can stop it. Brutes spawn in Horde of the Bastion bases and randomly around the world. They have 3 different slash attacks that have different areas of effect and do different amounts of damage. They take more damage from the player, explosions, poison, and smash attacks, and less from ranged. Portal guards are exclusive to high-level Bastion bases. They will swipe at enemies, shoot their flail at them, or spin their flail around their head, knocking enemies back. Sporebacks spawn around the world at night and in Horde of the Spore bases. They throw mushrooms at enemies that do splash damage. They have lower gravity, making it easier to knock them back. Lava launchers spawn in high-tier Spore bases and at the zombie homestead when it's invaded. They launch fireballs at you, and if enemies are close to it, it will stomp on them. It takes less damage from the player in ranged attacks, but more from poison, explosion, and 12 times more from lava damage. The War Boar spawns during raids and in Horde of the Hunt bases. They run at enemies and knock them back. They take more damage from player attacks. The Pigmadillo spawns in Horde of the Hunt bases, during raids, randomly at night, and during the skeleton invasion. They will curl up into balls and roll towards enemies, sending them flying. When they are close to an enemy, they will swipe at them. They take less damage from the player in ranged attacks, but more from poison, explosion, fire, and 12 times more from lava. The Devourer is the leader of the Horde of the Spore. We see it bathing in the mushrooms it eats while commanding its armies. When you defeat all of the Horde of the Spore bases, a new base appears and a cutscene plays where the Devourer comes to the overworld. It will appear towards the outside of the base. It has multiple different attacks, including a slam attack, a long-ranged spit attack, an acid spew attack, an insta-kill attack, and an AoE rupture attack, where this mushroom cyst thing explodes and does damage. Once you take it down to 70 or 30% of its health, it will jump further into the base and you must hunt it down. When you defeat it, it throws up all over the place and then the mushroom spore things on its back explode as it collapses. The beast is seen leading its horde on a hunt through the nether. It doesn't seem to care very much about the invasion of the overworld. When you defeat all of the Horde of the Hunt bases, the seer forces the beast through a portal. It comes to the overworld and begins an attack on a village. It will attack the village buildings and your defenses by charging into them and attacking them with its club. It attacks you and your allies by slamming its club into the ground. It will occasionally retreat outside of the village to get reinforcements. If the village attack ends, it will leave and come back the next night. When you defeat it, the hoglin it rides tosses it into the air and knocks itself out with its own club. The Unbreakable leads the Horde of the Bastion. It's seen forcing its piglins to build new weapons in its bastion. When you defeat all of the Horde of the Bastion bases, a new base appears, which is heavily defended. You will need to destroy all of the gates to get through to the center, where the boss is waiting for you. It can attack by swiping at the player or its allies, using a flamethrower on them, or shooting magma blasts at them. It can cause magma geysers to erupt from the ground by shooting lava into it. It can also summon magma cubes from its gauntlet. When you finish it off, the furnace on its back explodes, knocking it down. The final boss of the game is the Great Hog. It's the leader of all the piglins. When all of the Horde leaders have been defeated, a new cutscene plays, where the seer enchants one of the Great Hog's spears, which it uses to destroy a nether portal, forming a new weapon. It then proceeds to attack the Well of Fate. You must make your way there through the overworld. A base will have formed around the well, combining features from all of the different Horde bases. When you reach the center, the Great Hog will notice you and attack. It can throw one of its spears at you, slash at you with it, slam the ground with the staff, and charge towards you while spinning. It can slam both the staff and spear into the ground, causing it to be covered in fire. When you defeat it, it will attempt to throw its staff to destroy the well, but it backfires, causing all of the piglins to be sent back to the nether. It then collapses to the ground. The seer is seen in multiple cutscenes in the game. She has the Orb of Dominance and uses it to do vaguely evil and intimidating things. She forces the beast to lead its armies, and she creates the Great Hog's weapon. She doesn't appear at the end of the game, so we don't know what happened to her. The beast attempts to hunt a giant hoglin with lots of tusks in some cutscenes. It's followed by a bunch of normal hoglins. It manages to get away since the beast has to cut its hunt short. Finally, there are a bunch of concepts for different piglin units revealed by the developers. There are way too many to count, and a lot of them are hard to tell if they count as unique mobs, so I'll just show you some of my favorites. Alright, now let's move on to story mode. There technically aren't any piglins in story mode since it was released before the Nether update, but the zombie pigman makes a very brief appearance. In Season 1, Episode 1, we see some in the background of the Nether, and in Season 2, Episode 4, they appear in the background of the Underground. Lastly, in the Minecraft movie, piglins are the main villains. There are all sorts of unique piglins in the movie, and there's no way that I can cover all of them. A few of them were given names behind the scenes, like Wilver, Snowball, and Napoleon. The leader of the piglins is Malgosia. She attempts to take over the overworld using the Orb of Dominance. She's stopped by the heroes and an army of iron golems. General Chungus is her second in command. He leads the attack on Steve's village. When he fails to get the orb, Malgosia has the Great Hog kill him. The Great Hog is a piglin created by Malgosia. It's based on the Unbreakable from Legends. It attempts to capture Steve, Garrett, and Henry in the creeper farm, but it's blown up by creepers. A second one is made for the final battle, but it's killed by the Speed Boots Iron Golem. After the piglins are defeated, they begin to turn into zombie piglins, which I guess counts as its own mob. Finally, hoglins appear in the background of the Nether, during the village invasion, and in the final battle. We don't see them zombify, so we don't know if they turn into zoglins. And with that, that is every piglin in the Minecraft franchise. Let me know which one of these is your favorite. For those of you who have been waiting for this, thank you for your patience. I hope this video was everything you hoped it would be. Anyway, have a great day and I'll see you next time.